Hello everyone, my name is James Tyrrell. I'm a wildlife photographer and wilderness safari guide and general content creator for conservation organizations, lodges, basically anything that gets me into the bush and working with wildlife. You see we've got a couple of visitors coming to enjoy the waterhole on a hot afternoon. We're currently in Zambia in the South Luangwa National Park, and we're on a private photographic safari here for a week, and then we go to Lower Zambezi National Park a little bit further south. Stick with us, we're going to show you some cool content, capturing stuff in the field, what's going on out there. We've already had some great leopard sightings, there are elephants everywhere. Camp is totally open, there are no fences around, so got to watch your step when you're walking through during the day and night. I'm going to spend some time watching these guys, and then we'll take you through a day in the life on a photographic safari. Right, so behind me is the Luangwa River. You can see some hippos over there. They're enjoying the heat of the day in the cool river. And on the far side is the South Luangwa National Park, one of the most magnificent wildlife destinations in Zambia, if not Africa. We've seen leopards on almost every drive. This section opposite us, it's called Makumba, particularly well known for its leopard population and density. There are small cats which are pretty shy, they're nocturnal, you don't see many of them, but this national park is thousands of square kilometers of wilderness with actually only a very small area that is traversed by safari vehicles. And ecotourism funds the maintenance of the park, even though it only touches on a small part of it. So ecotourism in this context essentially involves a very sustainable means of using tourism dollars to maintain the road network, to pay for anti-poaching, to pay for conservation research initiatives within the park, and it's all done sustainably. In fact, most of the lodges in the area are outside the park. To access each day, you'll take a boat across or pontoon in your vehicle, and this reduces impact within the core wildlife area. Surrounding the park, you've got buffer zones that are game management areas, but they're not technically part of the national park, but those serve as buffer zones between the communities on the outside and the core wildlife areas. And essentially what you're having is phototourism dollars maintaining an enormous area under wildlife. And if the park wasn't allowing people to come in, pay money to view animals in their natural environment, the area would quickly fall apart into subsistence farming. It would be poached out, and we wouldn't have this national heritage in this absolutely glorious corner of Africa. Okay, gear-wise, it's important to have your bases covered. This is 100 to 400 mm lens. It's a telephoto zoom. That's for getting nice close shots at a distance. This is a 70 to 200 mm lens. It's excellent in low light. It's a fast lens. The aperture goes wide open to 2.8, which means it's great for shooting in dusk and dawn. This is a 28 to 70 mm. It's a nice little carry around, and I use it quite a bit for filming. And then 16 to 35 mm, that's a nice wide angle, because more often than not you want to capture the whole scene. Storytelling involves the animal in its environment. It's not just a close-up portrait shot. You want to be able to show where the animal is. And then lastly, there's a case for some filters, just to manage the light if it's quite bright and you want to film during the middle of the day. And we don't want to go into the technicalities of that now, but filters are there. And then, of course, a bag to put it all in, and then a microphone for filming. It just captures much cleaner sound. And that's about it. All packs in the bag. We've got some chargers, and then their card readers and hard drives and the rest. The most important thing on a photographic safari is to be fairly compact while maximizing your chances for getting great photos in all conditions. So when you're looking for big cats out in the bush, one of the most important things to do is to switch off the vehicle. It sounds a bit counterintuitive. You would think you need to keep moving to try and find them. But the thing that's going to help you more than your eyes is your ears. Listening for alarm calls is the main thing. And of course, listening for the cats themselves. Leopards, lions, they give territorial calls to announce which area they're dominant over, or maybe to look for a mating partner. But for the most part, it's alarm calls that are going to give the game away as to where predators are to be found. If a predator is a threat to a monkey, to an impala, to a puku, that animal, that prey species, is going to sound the alarm to alert all the rest of its kin or herd, or the whole bush essentially, that there's a threat nearby. And by triangulating where those calls are coming from, you're more than likely to find the predator. So as well as using alarm calls to find animals, we'll often use their tracks as well. So being able to identify tracks of different species is obviously the first step, knowing what a lion track looks like or a leopard track. And the second thing is being able to determine how old they were, aging tracks, because you don't want to follow a track that's 3 days old, means the animal's long gone. You want fresh tracks to follow. So you look at the substrate, you look at what other animals might have walked on top of the track, and you look at the environmental conditions. Wind will degrade a track quite quickly, and you use all those to try and point you in the right direction of where the predator might be. So these are the tracks of a leopard right here. You can see the toes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the back pad, it's fairly indistinct, but 1, 2, 3 lobes at the back, which is one of the things that marks it as a cat, as opposed to a wild dog or hyena that only have 2 lobes at the back of the pad. And this leopard walked right through camp. This is one of the most exciting things you can see when tracking. This is a drag mark. This is where a leopard has killed something and dragged it off to find a hiding place. Unfortunately, it looks in this case like the leopard has been robbed. Both hyenas and lions have sniffed out the scent trail. They've followed the kill. We tracked into a deep thicket and nothing left. So it looks like it was something that was probably too heavy for the leopard to hoist initially. The tracks are of a female leopard, so she's going to be quite small. The kill was a little bit too heavy to get into the tree, which is why they'll often try and hide it somewhere first, eat a bit, and then make it lighter so they can get it up. But in this case, female leopard ran out of time, and the kill was stolen by hyenas and possibly even this lion, although it looks like he came along a bit after the time. So before you even get a chance to push the shutter down and take the picture, before you even have to know about what settings to use, in what lighting conditions, the reality is you need to find the animals, and there's no better way than to use local knowledge, which is why the local guides are so important to work with in a photographic sense.
My name is Nathan Mwete. I'm a guide in Lower Zambezi National Park. I love ecotourism because it's really nice. It provides lots of jobs to the local people, and it keeps nature to be there. Thanks.
So thanks to Nathan's deep knowledge of the area and the wildlife and the way everything works in this ecosystem at different times of the year, we were able to find some wild dogs and enjoy the most incredible sighting of them, some of the content you're seeing right now. So yeah, local guides make a huge difference when it comes to this kind of thing. Okay, we're sitting with a leopard. She's watching some impala. She's got a little bit of distance between her and them, about 30 meters. There is some cover nearby, as you can see. But have a look here. You can see she's a little bit too far to make a rush. She needs to be right up close. She wants the impala to go into the cover, into the grass. As soon as they start making a move towards the grass, she gets into a stalking position. As you can see, she gets low, ready to pounce should they come close. But they actually end up moving a little bit wider. So she tries to anticipate them. She wants to get ahead of them. It's much more effective to let them come to her rather than her go towards them. So we're watching very intently. We're keeping quiet. We don't want to move the vehicle to disturb anything. She sees the impala moving. She tries to get ahead of them, but she's a bit too late. And they know the danger, so they rush across the danger section, and the leopard wanders off. And that was it. She disappeared into the long grass. So the same species of cat can behave very differently in different parts of Africa depending on environmental conditions. And where we are at the moment in South Luangwa, trees like this is a sausage tree, Cagelia africana, play a very important role in leopards' behavior at this time of the year. This is now getting to the height of the dry season. The trees have a lot of foliage on them and they're starting to come into flower. They're dropping these beautiful red flowers on the ground. And what will happen is, let me actually see if I can find the flower. Here's one that's a little bit faded. There we go. That's not too fresh, but they're beautiful crimson scarlet color. When they're new, they drop to the ground and they provide an important means of sustenance for antelope like puku, like impala in particular, at this time of year when there's not a lot of good grazing around. There's wonderful cover up there and good shade and comfortable branches to lie on. So what leopards will often do is they'll scuttle up a sausage tree, that is dropping its flowers, and they'll wait because they know that antelope are likely to come and feed down below them. And this is one of the few areas in the world where leopards have been documented dropping from trees onto their prey down below. So it's a very specialized hunting method, but you need the right tree to be able to do it from. So we've got cover, we've got food down below that's going to attract herbivores, and we've got a nice, comfortable, shady place to lie for the leopard. So even if they're not looking to hunt from a sausage tree, it's a great place for them to seek refuge because nothing's going to disturb them. They're very hard to spot, which does make photographing them difficult at the same time. Cool, guys. Thanks for following along. Those are just a couple of snippets of what goes into a photographic safari, but it is so much more than that. It's very difficult to convey the full experience on a couple of short reels. But if you are interested in finding out a bit more about coming to Africa and taking some photographs and going on an amazing safari, drop me a direct message to my handle below, and keep following Panthera. Thanks to them for getting me involved here. They do some amazing work conserving big cats around the world. So make sure you follow them if you don't already, and we'll see you guys next time.